And what is he going to say next? That Eddie Abu also didn't abuse performance-enhancing drugs? That Eddie Abu wasn't on insulin, growth hormone, and steroids? How do you think he got those problems? From eating sugar or abusing steroids for years? Coach Greg, and in today's video, Eddie Hall, he wants the smoke. He's calling out Coach Greg's BS.
We're also going to be meeting with Phil Richards, who is one of the best blood work doctors in the country.
And so, if he was one of the best blood work doctors in the country, he wouldn't be saying that he's healthy. I don't believe that he actually has healthy blood markers. And if he does, show it. Proof is in the pudding. Post the blood work.
You know, I'm going to Phil Richards, who's he's not even a doctor. He's just a good guy that's got a good understanding of how the body should be under a peak performance.
Did he just say he's not a doctor, that he's just a good guy to be around? Why? Because he tells you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear? The good doctor would say, I've looked at your blood work and these markers indicate that you're not healthy. And if you're using polypharmacy, you know, a bunch of pills to lower your blood pressure, your cholesterol and everything because of the drugs that you're on, it's also not healthy.
You know, he knows what the marker should be for peak performance. And that's what I'm after for this fight.
And so does this doctor or friend look like he practices what he preaches? He's also got 35, perhaps 40% body fat. And so how is this doctor qualified to tell him if he's healthy? And so he clearly doesn't care about his health. And so what makes him think he cares about his?
I'm after a guy to sit there with what I've got, which is a 350-pound frame right now, and give me markers to be healthy.
All you need to do is see Eddie Hall with his arms crossed above his belly. This part right here, it sticks out further than his arms. If I sit like this and my stomach is further out than my arms, how is that lean? How is that sub 20% body fat? It's not. And remember, visceral fat, fat around the abdomen and so on, is the unhealthiest kind of fat. Fatty liver and so on, these things are not good. Men who are 350 pounds plus don't live into their 80s and 90s. Am I making that shit up? Men who are 350 pounds plus don't live into their 80s and 90s. It's fact. Fatter men, obese, morbidly obese, one of the reasons they use morbid obesity as a marker is because when you're that heavy, it's extra strain on your heart. It makes you die younger, and I don't want that for you. And so for a guy who said previously that he was going to compete in bodybuilding, is this the result? What's next? Is he going for an IPB Pro card? Oh, I didn't win my Pro card because I didn't have a proper... Remember, he's already dehydrated, and so is he going to compete at the show and the Doucette said, oh, I'm 5% body fat. Meanwhile, he's over 300 pounds. He needs to lose a significant amount of weight.
And see, Greg, you just pointed out that I ate nothing but shit food every day with a video of me eating burgers and whatever else. Again, just to suit your narrative.
It's not just suiting my narrative. I post what you're eating. You've literally said this in countless videos. I think that anyone that's a fan of Eddie Hall knows that he doesn't eat the healthiest of diets, that he was eating cheesecakes, bulking up for strongman competitions, eating perhaps 5,000 calories or more every single day. He has a sweet tooth. He loves to eat. And so when I say he's eating burgers, fries, fast food, and so on, it's not lying, it's the truth. And this is causing you to be obese, morbidly obese, which is going to dramatically reduce your time on this earth. And so how is that bad? I'm trying to teach you how to be a healthier human being and to live longer. How is that bad? How many people, raise your freaking hands right now, raise the roof, think that this guy is under 20% body fat as he speaks right now? He's got immaculate blood work. Really? Let's use the simple eye test. Look at Eddie Hall in his t-shirt. We're not going to show his legs, his belly, his back fat, and so on. Just sitting there with his head up. Look at his face. Does that look like 20% body fat or less? I'm sorry. I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You're not under 20% body fat.
Look at pictures of me when I was like 16 years old and I was shredded. Just come out the swimming, I was Olympic standard swimmer.
Yeah, and so when you were younger, you had under 20% body fat. It looked amazing. As a teenager, Eddie Hall was lean. But now that he's gained 130 pounds, he's not as lean as he once was. Now, I might add, it's possible that he wasn't natty at 16. I don't know, I can't go this far back, but it is possible that he was actually on performance-enhancing drugs as a teenager. Many teens, they actually use steroids, SARMs, and so on, all of which can cause you to have a puffier face. Now, I'm not saying I know for fact that he was on steroids, SARMs, and so on at 16, but it is, in fact, possible?
16 years old, I was 100 kilos, like 225 pounds, and I had a round face, and I was nowhere near 20% body fat, nowhere near.
And so your face doesn't look anything like when you were 16. If you look like you did at 16, clearly it's under 20% body fat. But that's not how you look right now. And I don't think you've added 130 pounds of muscle since you were 16.
Carnivore diet for 3 months, I feel absolutely incredible.
Is he feeling incredible from the steroids? Or is it from losing 20 pounds? And so, is it the carnivore diet that actually made him feel incredible? Or do you not think perhaps the HRT, the peptides and so on, that might have helped him? And does anyone think his diet would not have been better had he added in some berries? Is it really the carnivore diet that is so effective? Or is it the fact that he stopped eating cheesecake, pastries, candies, cookies, or perhaps 7 or 10,000 calories? And also, did you not see the part of him having vocal problems? He claims that it was so healthy, it was amazing, but it messed up his voice. He can box, he can fight, he can swim. The guy is an elite athlete. But I'm telling you, just because you're an elite athlete doesn't mean that you're healthy on the inside. And so I just said he was an elite athlete, but just because you're an elite athlete doesn't mean that you're actually healthy. Have we not seen football players who are 350 pounds and they're tackling guys making millions of dollars? They are elite athletes, but they're still morbidly obese. And what about sumo wrestlers? They're also elite athletes. Eddie Hall is an excellent sumo wrestler. But does that mean you're healthy just because you're an elite athlete? Of course not. You can be an elite athlete and not healthy at the same time.
I mean, I'm a fit guy. And that's,
Yeah.
Get your lungs, wow.
Yeah.
I train a minimum of 10 hours a week with cardio, weights, swimming, whatever else. I'm sorry, but that compared to the general public, that's fitter and healthier than 99%.
Yeah, it's perhaps more cardio than 99% of the population. Doesn't mean you're fitter than 99% of the population. And what's holding you back from being fit? Your body weight. Listen, it's more than just your blood markers that tells you if you're fit. There's something called VO2 max. That's the truest test of fitness. If your VO2 max is better than 99% of the population, I'm going to say you're fitter than 99%. But it's not. There's no way your VO2 max is higher than Coach Greg.
And he's going about the DEXA scan now that I don't fit in the machine. Yeah, the DEXA scan is designed for a normal-sized human being. And I'm not a normal-sized human being.
He admits it himself. The DEXA scan is for a normal-sized human being. He's not a normal size. He admits this. The heart, it doesn't really care all that much whether that body mass that you have is in forms of muscle or if it's in forms of fat.
That's bullshit.
And so I'm sorry, but it's not bullshit. And so whether you're Eddie Hall, The Mountain, Brian Shaw, any of these mountains of men, guys who weigh close to 400 pounds, whether it's fat or muscle, your body, it doesn't care. There's extra wear and tear on your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, on your heart. And in addition to that, do you think any of these men or any strongman competitor at the top are actually natural? We all know that they're not. Are they in fact testing for performance-enhancing drugs? And so listen, when I criticize strongmen saying, hey, it isn't healthy, it's because it's not. And have I done anything different for bodybuilders? Do I not say, hey, if you're a Mr. Olympia competitor, whether you're C-Bum, Derek Lunsford, you name it, any guys at the top, if you're abusing performance-enhancing drugs, it's not healthy. And whether you weigh 400 pounds of fat or 400 pounds of muscle, it's still placing an added strain on your heart.
There's a little bit more definition on the shoulders, the traps, like more defined.
Listen, if he were to do a lat spread, there would literally be a fart noise coming out of it. He doesn't have a proper tan. He's not carrying 20 pounds of body water. But look at him. In the after, does this look lean? Remember, if his after was the before, I would still be telling him you need to lose 50 pounds. And when you've only lost 20 pounds and you see a big difference, it's because you've added a lot of muscle. And it's from steroids.
But we've just been over that. I added half a kilo of muscle.
It's not a half a kilo of muscle, Eddie. I did the math. Your math, it isn't mathing. I'm sorry. I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You want to hear that you're good in math. You're not. I taught math. And sorry, you would probably fail grade 9 math. It's not your fault. You probably didn't study that hard. But if you don't know how to calculate this, then if you don't know where I'm coming from, you should have failed math. I blame your teachers.
I mean, that's the evidence there. So I've lost 9 kilo.
He literally has titties. He's standing there with his phone. He's got body fat. His waist appears to be 44 inches. And he doesn't look lean. I mean, can you look at this physique? This is not the photo of a person who is lean. That is not the picture of health. Now, I'm not saying he isn't an elite athlete. I'm not saying he's not stronger, more powerful than 99.9% of the population, but this is not a man who is not obese. I'm sorry, he's obese.
To Phil Richards, who does my blood work, I suggest you put some fruits and vegetables back in, and that's the advice I'm taking.
And so he did a diet for 90 days, and it wasn't sustainable. And after looking at his blood work, they said, let's add in some fruits and berries. Was the diet ideal if after 90 days you were told to add in fruits and berries? Why not just have the fruits and berries to begin with? Do you really think it was the carnivore diet that worked so effectively, or would the carnivore diet plus fruits and vegetables, aka a healthy diet, would that not have worked from day one? The diet that you can follow is the diet that you can stick to for the rest of your life. And so am I not saying the proper diet is the one you can do forever, a forever diet? And so if you can do it for 3 months, is that forever? And so Eddie, did the carnivore diet, tried it, it didn't work out. If it was, why isn't he still on it? If the diet is so amazing, why not keep doing it? But no, he added in fruits, berries, whatever. And so think of it. Why not just do the proper diet from day one? And so, for example, the anabolic cookbook or the diet book that I've written called The Circle Diet, why not follow that? It's literally a diet you can do for the rest of your life. It doesn't cut out food groups. It doesn't force you to stop eating anything. It takes the foods that you love and makes them lower in calories. And so you can eat your pizzas, your wraps, lasagnas, and so on, but make them lower in calories.
I enjoy fruit, I enjoy vegetables. I think little portions of them isn't going to do me any harm.
He enjoys fruits and vegetables. Small portions of them are not going to do him any harm. I would argue that large portions of them are not going to do him any harm. You really think that Eddie Hall, if he ate an entire pound of blueberries a day, that somehow it's going to ruin him? Or if he had a banana? Or, heavens forbid, some spinach?
I've got to say that, I'm just going to stop the video here. I've never wanted to punch a man in the face so much in my life.
And so he's never wanted to punch a man in the face so much. But what about those two who fought in that MMA match? Seemed you wanted to punch those guys really bad. I don't like carbs, I like fats, says the man that eats sugar. There's a big difference between eating a carrot, asparagus, and a kiwi than eating a cheesecake. And so we literally have video evidence of Eddie Hall eating very unhealthy. Lots of sugar, lots of fats, highly palatable foods. Junk food, if you will. Has he not openly disclosed that he enjoys eating this? And so, did he really need to go on a carnivore diet, or did he not just need to eat fewer calories that were perhaps a little bit healthier? Is that not enough?
It's just dirty, man. It's just dirty. I could say you eat nothing but cheesecake and just keep playing a video of you eating cheesecake on repeat.
Find the video of me eating cheesecake. I challenge Eddie. The cheesecake you see me eating is from my freaking cookbook. Low-calorie cheesecake. Made healthier, lots of protein, lower in sugar. And so, Eddie, why not have the cheesecake from my cookbook? It'll help you. You can stick to your diet and stick to it for the rest of your life and perhaps get under 350 pounds. Eddie Abu for breakfast is...
He called me Eddie Abu again. Again, he's got such a hatred for anyone that's on this carnivore diet. He's just mixing up people.
Or I have a very bad memory, especially since I got in that severe car accident over a year ago. Does anyone remember that accident? And do I not mess up people's names? Ask Mitchell Hooper. Mitchell Hooper called him several different names, could not get it right. Ask Eric Janicki. He was at my house for multiple days. I couldn't pronounce his name correctly. I will sit and make videos and I can't remember who's the Mr. Olympia. Top 5? Ask me. I get it wrong every single time. I don't have a good memory for names.
He doesn't care who's attacking, he's just attacking. Because it doesn't suit his narrative of selling anabolic cookbooks and fake gear.
So you're going to sit there and listen to a man who agrees with Eddie Abu? Eddie Abu, are you kidding me? Oh, all sugar is bad, including apples, blueberries? Really? All sugar isn't bad. Eddie Abu, half of what he says is good, half is what is bad. We don't know when he's telling the truth or when he's not. And what is he going to say next? That Eddie Abu also didn't abuse performance-enhancing drugs? That Eddie Abu wasn't on insulin, growth hormone, and steroids? How do you think he got those problems? From eating sugar or abusing steroids for years? And he says, I'm big on the anti-aging. Everything I do, it's about living longer. Except I'm not going to cut out the steroids. Yeah, he's big on anti-aging. He wants to live a long life. Does anyone have any research to disprove that fact that if you're morbidly obese, that's going to shorten your life? Is there any research that says, hey, if you're 350 plus pounds, that is going to extend your life? Does anyone believe that? Name one person that thinks that you're going to live longer weighing 350 plus versus 250 pounds or less. No one!
My boys at one point, and we put that down to acid reflux.
And so think of it, this diet was so immaculate, so amazing, but he had acid reflux and he lost his voice. I don't know about you, but if you lose your voice, you get acid reflux, is that really a diet you want to be on? If I said, hey guys, I'm going to try a new diet, and I tried it, and I said my voice is gone, I can't speak, and I'm throwing up in the middle of the night, would that be an amazing diet? I don't think so.